as a coach coaching Senegal, a big team like Senegal, a giant of Africa like Senegal, when it comes to football, you don't incite your boys to boycott the final just because you feel like there's a penalty on the line and you don't agree. That was very long final, very dramatic final. Wow, that was a good one though. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Kobo Sports Room and welcome back to another video. This is your Afcon final review, a game between Morocco, the host nation, and then the Teranga Lions of Senegal. This is your review. Stick and stay here with me. We have a lot to talk about. We have a whole lot to talk about. That was a final. This is a final. Click on the subscribe button, press the post notification bell, follow me on all social media platforms and X, on TikTok and then on Facebook. Let's move straight into the video. So after a month, in Morocco, Afcon 2025 transcending into 2026, finally, the final was played between Morocco and Senegal, and the Afcon has come into an end. The Teranga Lions of Senegal are the champions of the Afcon 2025 that was held in Morocco. Now, a lot of things happen in the game, which we are going to sit here and talk about it. There is going to be takes in this particular video. So, it was 1-0 against Morocco, and because of the drama that is circulated this particular match, whenever you see anyone at the back of a microphone talking, you think probably the person might be talking about the controversies, the drama and all of that. In fact, Afcon has always been like this. There has always been drama in Afcon. That is just, the nature of Africans. That is the nature of the Afcon. If you watch Afcon and you don't see any drama in Afcon, it means that wasn't an Afcon. So Afcon has always thrived in drama or on drama. So I'm not shocked to see all these things, especially in the the Nigerian game, the Morocco Nigerian game. Yes, a lot of drama, a lot of controversies. That is just the Afcon. So it is just by the way though, but I don't want to make it look like the controversies supersede the football these guys have played for the past 1 month. That was a solid performance. That was a final, and it's a brilliant, campaign for both Morocco, the host nation, and then Senegal too. But the Senegalese team, the Teranga Lions of Senegal, has always been that team. There are teams that are like team, and when we say a team, the core of the team has always been there. So when you watch the Senegal national team, you could clearly pick out some certain core players. These are key core players. That is part of the Senegal national team. You can talk about the Koulibalys, you can talk about Mendy, you can talk about Sadio Mane, you can talk about Idrissa Gana Gueye, and all these guys. So we have these core people, part of the team. They have been part of the team for the past like 4 or 5 years. So that is a team. And they have won the Afcon. They have won it before. So if you watch this team and they are playing, you could clearly see that this is a team. Now, Morocco, on the other hand, was riding on, individual qualities, even though I'm not saying Senegal, they have individual qualities. Senegal has a lot of individual qualities, and there were a lot of, players that was coming into the ranks. And it was a mix of experience and young players. Look at Lamine Camara in a game. Solid in a game. Papa Gueye is an old guy. He's an OG. Just that he wasn't getting the time. But he's an OG, 26 years. So he's not young. But just look at all these guys. It was a blend of young and then old people. Look at Mbaye when he came from the bench. Look at how pacey he was. Look at how ready he was to play. So it is a blend of experience and then young players for the Senegalese national team. So if you are talking about team in between Morocco and Senegal, Senegal has the team because they have played each other for so long, for like past 4 or 5 years. So they have team. Now Morocco, on the other hand, I've told you, they were riding on individual qualities. Brahim Diaz, Ayub Kalbi, all these El Canous, all this Yasin Bono. So these guys, they have also, been together for quite some time now, but it's not like the Senegalese national team. And in the game, it was an end-to-end action. I told you the final is not going to be like the Egypt-Senegal game. Egypt fucked up against Senegal. They started defending against Senegal very early in the game. But I told you the Morocco game is going to be an end-to-end action because Morocco is not going to sit there for Senegal to play the game. Senegal is not also going to sit there for Morocco to play the game. As a matter of fact, they are all a big team. They are all, a formidable team, and they will go at each other. That was what I predicted. And I said it in my review of the semi-final that this game was going to be an end-to-end action, and truly it was an end-to-end action. Now Morocco had some couple of chances, and even Senegal had a lot of chances that they could have buried the game. But of course, it is the final, and sometimes all these balls comes up as a surprise for you, and it doesn't come at the right time when you want to get the ball. Just look at the chance that was made by the Senegalese striker. It was a chance for him to push Senegal 2-0 against Morocco, and he missed the chance. These are some of the chances you can't afford to miss in the final. A final game, you can't afford to be missing chances like that. Morocco, they had a couple of chances. Ayub Kalbi had a lot of chances that he could have buried the game there. But I mean, it was nothing to write home about. I was very disappointed in some of the chances he squandered up front there. I mean, it's just the final, and sometimes final things doesn't go right for you in the final, and that has always been the story of the Afcon. The story of the Afcon is that the big teams, or the team you think will win the competition, is not going to win the competition. But I would also want to acknowledge the fact that this Afcon has not been an Afcon for underdogs. So if you are an underdogs, far, yes, if you are an underdog, far, because there is nothing for you in the Afcon. Look at the quarterfinal teams. You could clearly see the Cote d'Ivoire, you could clearly see the Cameroon, the Senegal, the Morocco, the Egypt, the Algeria. Those are the teams that went to the quarterfinal of the competition, and these are the top dons in the African game. So this Afcon was not an Afcon for underdogs, unlike the previous one. But this particular Afcon, I think Senegal deserves the win. I think Senegal deserves to lift the title. All the two teams that went into the final deserve to lift the title. Morocco deserve so well to lift the title. Senegal also deserves to lift the title. Now, let's move into some of the controversies that went on in the game, and after that, we'll check out some of the awards, some of the award-winning players, or the awards during the end of the Afcon when they were presenting the awards. Now, the first controversy people were, talking about was, the referee. The referee, according to people, he was taking all the 50-50 balls for Morocco. From where I sit, or from the game I was watching, I didn't really see what people were saying, and I didn't really see the referee taking all the 50-50 balls for Morocco. As a matter of fact, I think the referee did well. And generally, I think this Afcon, the refereeing has been top generally. Because even look at the semi-finals and look at the final. I think that the final, the referee, there were some of the, occasions where he used discretion to, to describe the situation, and then to also, pick certain decisions for himself as the center line referee. But if we talk about 50-50 balls and all the 50-50 balls going to Morocco, I partially disagree. I disagree on that note. But I mean, I think the referee's performance, I will give him a 7 out of 10, and 7 is also a pass mark. So, and the first controversy was this ball. It was the goal Senegal scored. And as you can see on your screen, just look at the ball here, and it is circled. And if you watch clearly here, you could clearly see that there was a push here. Yes, if you watch the video, you could clearly see, do away with all the sentiment. And it's not about the fact that someone wanted to, win the trophy for Morocco. No, just look at the ball and look at the picture very well. There was a push there. So that ball was a foul. It wasn't a goal for Senegal. It was a clear foul because there was a push on the Moroccan, player. So that ball was a foul. Now let's go into the biggest in this particular game. That was the penalty. It was the penalty of, it was a penalty that happened between Malik Diop and Brahim Diaz. And if you watch this ball very well, that was a penalty. So I think the two calls was a great call because that ball was a penalty. Yes, you equally have a point when you tell me that the ball was, where the game was, it was around 90+7. And then, the referee had, a responsibility on him that, I mean, if this ball was a penalty, he could have done something about it, use his own discretion not to take the penalty because it was a final and it was a last minute. But if we are being realistic here and if we are going according to the rules, that ball was a penalty. It was a penalty from Malik Diop on Brahim Diaz because you can clearly see that Malik Diop was dragging Brahim Diaz's neck and that ball was a penalty. I don't know why people were still complaining, but that ball was a penalty. Now, after the penalty, something happened. After the penalty, Senegal decided not to play the ball again. They decided to boycott the final. In the 90+7th minute, they decided to boycott the final. Now, Papi Thiaw, their coach, I think that CAF should be very strong on the coach. Because as a coach coaching Senegal, a big team like Senegal, a giant of Africa like Senegal, when it comes to football, you don't incite your boys to boycott the final just because you feel like there's a penalty on the line and you don't agree with the decision. You can't incite the players to boycott the final. Papi Thiaw, that was uncalled for. That was unprofessional. And I think, yes, it was an emotion, but that was unprofessional. You can't incite the boys to boycott the game. The boys wanted to boycott the game. Now, you as a coach, you have one job to put the boys together. Are you not man again? Put the boys together. Bring the boys on the field. Let them fight to the last second. But you don't tell your boys, you don't incite your boys to boycott the final. Whilst the referee has not questioned that the game has come to an end, you don't incite the boys to boycott the final. Now they were boycotting the final and something happened. So Sadio Mane, he's a legend, man. Look at what Sadio Mane said. Hey, come back. We are going to play like men. Yes, that is what you should do. Papi Thiaw, as a coach, that is what you should tell your boys. They have to come back and fight as men. You are not a coward. Are you a coward, Papi Thiaw? You are not a coward. So you don't incite your boys to boycott the final. Now, if they had boycotted the final, I mean, they wouldn't have been here winning the Afcon. So you see, you don't know what is going to happen. Penalty is a 50-50 game. Now, let's move into the penalty. Let's talk about the penalty. A lot of people are saying, they are talking that Brahim Diaz intentionally missed the penalty because when you check the Panenka, it didn't make sense. It is only God that can convince me that Brahim Diaz did this on purpose. It be God. It be only God. God is the only person that can convince me. Nobody on this earth can convince me that Brahim Diaz did this on purpose. He didn't do it on purpose. As a matter of fact, it's 50 years Morocco has not won the Afcon. 50 good years. Ghana is like 40 something years. Now Morocco is 50 years. 1976. 50 years. And you are telling me because of fair play, Brahim Diaz did this on purpose after 50 years of fighting for the Afcon trophy. You did this on purpose or you did this intentionally just because of fair play? Bro, I don't believe that. I am saying it emphatically that it be only God. It is only God that can convince me that Brahim Diaz did this on purpose. I don't think he did this on purpose. I think he was, scoring a cold goal, Panenka at the end of the Afcon would have been, sublime. So, I mean, dopamine and all of that. He thought, he had scored the goal because, Panenka. How many players try Panenka in their life when there is a big penalty like this? No. So I don't think it was intentional. I don't think, Brahim Diaz, intentionally did it. But I think that yes, he was just, playing to score, and it didn't end well. So no one should come and tell me this was intentional after 50 years, after 50 years of chasing that trophy, after so many years of investing in football, you are exchanging an Afcon for fair play. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. But I mean, that was the controversy. And after that, Papi Guy scored a very brilliant goal in the first half of the extra time, and that was the end of the game. And I mean, Senegal are the champions of the Afcon 2025 up to 2025 edition. What do you think about the Afcon? What do you think generally? Just give your assessment about the Afcon and the final. What do you think? Who was your MVP in the final? To me, my MVP is this guy, Sadio Mane. He was the real MVP in this particular game. And I am not shocked that he won the player of the tournament. He won the player of the tournament. If Brahim Diaz had scored the penalty, he would have won the player of the tournament. Would have won the goal king. And probably, yes, player of the tournament and then the goal king. And probably Sadio Mane will win the man of the match on the night. But Sadio Mane won the player of the tournament and Brahim Diaz won the golden boot. And just look at him. Just look at him. Look at how down he is. And you want to convince me this guy did this on purpose? I don't believe that. I don't believe that. But all the same, Senegal are the champions of the Afcon. Drop all your comment down below. What do you think about the decisions that happened? Do you think Brahim Diaz did that on purpose, or he was just playing to score to get Morocco the Afcon after 50 years? Drop all your comment down below. Let me know this has been your Afcon final review. My name is Kobo, and this is Kobo Sports Room. Click on the subscribe button, press the post notification bell, bet on M Sports, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for your time. Take care of yourselves, and peace.